now is the perfect time to record this video and release it. I gained a lot of experience in the last couple of years, especially in the last 3 years with all of this bullshit happening in the world. And I think that I have now achieved some kind of wisdom that I'm ready to share with other people. So maybe they learn from the mistakes or take my advice to enhance their own lives. This video will be about the 3 biggest and most common traps in a modern world, especially for men. These 3 things are most likely the cause of all your problems, or at least most of your problems, and you have to find a way to eliminate all of them, or at least most of them. Depression, low self-esteem, apathy, laziness, tiredness, sadness, and much more. We live in a pandemic, and it is not a virus-induced pandemic, it is a self-induced pandemic. And people suffer from it without even realizing it. Especially now after all of these lockdowns and pressure of society, the superficiality of the people, the fast-paced world, money problems, and social media who connects all of these things, people are more down than ever. People don't realize that they are at war, and if you continue to ignore that, you will fall to the 3 most common traps of the society. You will eventually fail as a human being and as a person. First, it is very important to understand why people are falling for these traps. Nowadays, the people are at exceptionally high rate of falling into these traps, or at least in one of these 3 categories, and we have to understand where this is coming from. If we just look at the last decade and what has changed, it is very apparent that the biggest change in our lives is our media consumption. More people than ever use platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and other platforms where people just show off what they have, and this is creating an illusion, making you think that your life is meaningless if you don't have money, fame, or status. Influencers live their best life and post it on social media, making you question your own life choices and destroying your self-esteem. They don't tell you the truth about their lives and make it seem as if they have no problems of their own. You will think that their lives are perfect and your life is meaningless, and you don't have even a reason to try to improve because you will never reach that success. That is the illusion that they are trying to create in your head. People are telling you either directly or indirectly that your life has no meaning. And this is the root cause for most people to lose their drive. They show a world that don't really exist and force it down on you. And of course you will feel down if you see all of this fancy shit they have. They drive in fast cars, they have a bunch of money, they have a bunch of real estate, big pools and shit like that, while you are working a 9-to-5 job. You will of course feel down. And then the 3 traps come in play. The first big trap many people fall victim to is drugs. The amount of drug consumption is at a very high rate. Young people, normal people, adult people, even children are now doing drugs. They try to escape their reality by abusing drugs in ridiculous amounts. And drugs are praised now. Have you seen how many rap songs or pop songs or other songs just praise drugs? People are praising drugs. Stars are praising drugs, and even the government partially praises drugs. They try to make you more lethargic than you used to be, and this has all a meaning to it. First of all, like I said, many governments are now trying to legalize drugs, which makes it much more easier to get in contact with them. Second, the society and the illusion they create force you to feel shit, which also leads you to take drugs. And like I said, the big mainstream musician, artist, rapper, all of the celebrities celebrate this lifestyle of taking as many drugs as possible, mixing all of the drugs together, and turning yourself into a more stupid and more lethargic person. Many children and teens just try to copy their idols and find themselves into a spiral of sorrow and drugs. The problem is that most people are lazy and lethargic, and high drug consumption is just increasing the issue, making them just waste their life away. I mean, you probably have this one friend who sits all day at home after work and is just high in his bedroom, falls asleep, just to wake up the next day and repeat the cycle endless times. And if you're that person, it's time for you to wake up. How often do you tell yourself, yeah, we'll stop tomorrow, just this one last time, bro? Only for tomorrow to be the same as today. You're wasting your time, you can't even get high anymore because your body already adapted to your high drug consumption. All this time you could invest into building your physique, building your business, reading a book, working on your job for extra cash. All the time you could invest in learning or making music or some other stuff that can enhance your life and maybe repay you in the future. Your friendships, your connection to family. All of this is at the stake, and you will lose all of these things just by taking this drug route and ending up alone in your bedroom. This instant gratification of drugs will damage you in the long term. Of course, drinking with your friends or hitting some marijuana occasionally with your friends can be fun, but don't let it become a habit of you or a cope out of your life. Change what makes you sad. Do not try to flee from it by abusing substances. In the end, you will not solve your problems, but it will accumulate, and in the end, you will have more problems. Abusing drugs will just increase your amount of problems. It will never reduce the amount of problems. The second trap is video games. I will take a long time for this one, but it's important because people still seem to underestimate and downplay the impact of this. Make no mistake, playing some games here and there are all fine, and if you have some time to spare and you enjoy the game, it is completely understandable to hop on some game and enjoy yourself. The problem is video game addiction. If you find yourself coping and explaining to other people or even to yourself why you are playing so much and try to justify playing video games every day, then you probably are a video game addict, even though you don't want to admit it. If you hop on a game every day for multiple hours, you are an addict. Make no mistake, many people fall victim to video games. Even I played way too much in the past, and after reflecting on it, I have to say, I could have used my time better. But I am awake now and I try not to fall victim to it. Occasionally I still hop on some game and play a couple of minutes, but I will not fall into an official grind or try to reach a score that will just end up wasting my time. The most common is if you try to increase your elo in some MOBAs, or if you try to level up some gear in video games that you know in the end of the season will be completely worthless. Because in the end they are all illusions. No matter what rank you might have in a video game, here outside in the real world, it doesn't matter which rank you have in LoL, it doesn't matter which rank you are in CSGO or whatever you play, and it doesn't matter how many cosmetics you have in a game. As soon as you log out, all of these things will be literally useless. And if a game developer just decides it's time to turn off the servers, then all of your achievements are gone forever. There's no reason to grind for in-game skins, let alone waste hundreds or even thousands of euros or dollars for in-game skins. It is unbelievable. People legit pay money for in-game skins which are worthless by definition because it's some line of codes who somebody wrote. These skins are of unlimited supply. Just think about it, you have no say in the decisions the developers do, and all of the in-game items are not even in your own hand. It could all be gone in no time without you having anything to say. Instead of buying real clothes which you can wear and resell because it's actually real and it is of limited supply, people buy clothes for an in-game character. But why? So people who you play with acknowledge them. They acknowledge your in-game clothes. This is all the people who are in this spectrum care about. Who cares about these people you didn't even actually met? If you are young, I can see why you fall for this illusionary gratification of others. But there is no excuse for someone of his mid-20s to buy skins for hundreds of dollars just to show them off online. You should know it better. Don't you have bills to pay or even more important things to buy? The funniest thing, which I recently observed, was the Overwatch 2 outrage. People are legit pissed because Blizzard locked the skins behind a paywall. So people were pissed and complained that Overwatch has nothing to offer if you can't unlock the skins by playing. The big problem is that the people know that they waste their time, but they say as long as they get free skins, it doesn't feel like they are wasting the time. And now that Blizzard took that away from them, they say the game is not fun because I don't get the free skins. Don't they realize that the game itself is not fun at all, and only the instant gratification they get from unlocking the free skins is what keeps them playing? Instead of realizing, okay, this game does not make fun, I stop playing, they still continue to play to unlock the free skins. And now that Blizzard put a paywall in front of it, they realize that the game itself is shit. And they still complain and expect Blizzard to give free skins instead of just stopping to play a game that they obviously do not enjoy. So you work 2 hours to get 20 bucks or 30 bucks, whatever, I don't care which job you have, maybe even 50 bucks, whatever, just to unlock an in-game skin. So people have something to look at if they see your in-game character. I can't even believe this stupidity. You lock yourself into a scenario that you don't enjoy just to have a little bit of gratification in form of these skins. Worthless achievements that give you a small hit of dopamine. You have the feeling of achieving something without even moving your ass. That is the sole reason why people tend to gravitate to video games. In a world that moves this fast, people search for quick hits and quick gratification. Video games are a perfect outlet for people like that. But it will rob you of your time and give you nothing in return. After the fast dopamine, you will find yourself in a small depression, realizing that you just wasted hours to get a little bit of league points or skins you don't even use. So your brain is getting rewired and damaged, and your reward system will get addicted to the small dopamine doses. You need to win so you can feel better again and forget that the video game is actually making you more depressed and not happy. You destroy your gratification system in your brain, you get lazy, you become fat, and you lose your precious time just for small dopamine hit and instant gratification that no one cares. People are trying to cope and try to defend playing video games by explaining how it helped them with their hand-eye coordination or helped them learning something new. Yeah, you want to know what also trains your hand-eye coordination and gives you tons of other benefits? Sports like table tennis, football, fitness, and more. This huge amount of mental gymnastics just to justify an obvious bad habit. Also, the gaming industry changed a lot. The entire esports scene and streamer scene destroyed gaming. People used to play games for fun. They realized it is a way to chill and hang out with friends and have something to laugh at. But nowadays, people just want to win. They want to become one of the best so they can maybe get an audience or play it for a living. At least that is what they are thinking, but everyone thinks like that. In the end, they all stop each other from having fun by sweating and cheating all game long, so they eventually will reach their illusionary goals. Most of these people are very toxic that they even change their personality to a point where they get instant angry from everyone and everybody because they are not used to be humble and patient. They don't even enjoy the games anymore. They are just completely focused on winning at all cost, falling into a stereotype of a goblin sitting in his basement, having no social skills and wasting their life for an illusionary world. Back in my times, when I used to play video games, 2 hours a day was considered questionable and addictive behavior. Now 6 to 8 hours is the norm. These children hop on Fortnite, try to get the win, to get their chicken dinner, wasting all their summer vacation in front of a monitor. And before they even realize 4 months are gone and summer is over, they play League just to finally reach a master rank, and as soon as they got it, 2 years have passed by without them even realizing. Instead of meeting friends from school, seeing the world, living their youth to the fullest, learning new stuff, starting to improve themselves, they wasted all alone in front of a PC. Playing some video games is fine, but missing out in life, destroying your reward system and holding yourself back from achieving something great is a shame. Most people have thousands of hours in video games. Even I, rethinking this, I should have used the time more wisely, putting it into something that will pay off sometime, or into something that helps me growing as a human, instead of wasting it into games and accounts that I am not even using anymore. If you still want to argue, I will give you a quick comparison. Let's say you play FIFA, League of Legends, or CSGO for 3.65k hours. So 3,650 hours. That sounds pretty fair. Most people have that amount of hours in their main game. Instead of gaming, you could have gone to the gym every single day for 1 hour for 10 years. Just imagine the body you could have had if you go to the gym every single day for 10 years. Every single day without any exception. Or if you just take a part-time job for 10 euro an hour, you could have earned over 36,000 euros. 36,000 euros and 500 euros you could have gained in the time you wasted your time in League of Legends achieving a rank that you don't even play on. Imagine that instead of wasting over 3k hours in a video game, you could have spoken 3 languages, you could have played piano or guitar or clarinet or whatever you wanted to play. You could have been a buff guy, a really, really buff guy, or you could have been richer. But you, instead of this, you choose to sit in front of a PC, get your small dopamine hits, get fucking depressed of it, and just repeat that cycle every single day, man. And the last and third trap is pornography. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Stop watching porn. Let's be real. I and many other people who claim to be fab-free are probably still jerking off. But there's a huge difference between porn consumption and just jerking off. You have to view them separately. Most people say you should stop fapping altogether, but I found a much more and a better solution. First of all, you have to reduce your total faps. That should be clear. So if you fap multiple times a day, you reduce it at one time a day. Choose one special hour that you have for yourself. So start off by splitting your average faps at least in half. Best, if you're a multiple day fapper, just call you a multiple day fapper, you reduce it to one fap a day, and after 1 week, you reduce it to one fap every 2 days. Second of all, you have to stop watching video porn and get old school with some pictures. If you do that, you will train your brain to appreciate regular sex way more, and you don't develop extreme fetishes. Have you ever realized how many fetishes there are outside nowadays? How many weird porn sites you find nowadays? Back then, this wasn't a problem because people fapped less, and so it was more special. The last decade, people developed all kinds of strange fetishes. Things like taking shit on someone or similar things are a sign that you are bored with the act of normal or regular sex and you try to find another option to have a higher and more extreme orgasm. So you search for strange things that have a catch to it, and that is the problem. That's why so many people have much more fetishes and much more ridiculous fetishes, because they need this. That's how addiction works, basically. You take the drug, you need more, you need more, you need more, you need another drug, you need a harder drug, and that is the same principle. You fap, you fap, you fap, you fap to videos, you fap to videos, you fap to extreme videos, you fap to abysmal videos, man. Back to our strategy. So when you start going to the Playboy old school mode, I call it the Playboy old school mode, you will detox your brain a bit and force it to appreciate normal casual things more. Because the jump from ultra bukkake, mega BBW, gangbang back to normal sex is actually a downgrade, but going from normal pictures to sex is an upgrade. And that's the thing. If you're addicted to hardcore porn, normal sex becomes more boring and less enjoyable. But if you go back to pictures, normal sex feels much better because it's an actual upgrade. After you reduce your amount of faps and your media consumption, you will see that your erections and your fun in the bed will increase because you enjoy it more. The next step is to stop using pictures and just use your imagination. That is maybe a bit hard for some people, but a quick tip: look up a picture you like, pay attention to it, and then put it away, and then use your imagination. Alternative, you can use clothed pictures and strip it naked in your own mind. If you continue with this for a couple of days, or maybe even weeks, you will see that you not only have decreased the times you fap, but your fap sessions are more intense and more enjoyable. From there on, you can try to decrease it even further. Another benefit the society will gain is the decrease of sexualization in media. Sex will no longer be the main selling factor. TikTok, OnlyFans, and all the other sites will lose all of their influence on people and put a stop to these thoughts that will sell feed pics and other services online. This will lead to girls have to develop a character and increase their likability. Also, these girls will have to start working as normal people and teach them to be humble, which will make the interactions between the sexes more attractive again. So, the 3 traps are drugs, video games, and pornography. Do not fall for these traps, and if you already did, try to get out of there as soon as possible. These things are the main reason why you are unhappy and have the feeling you are not going anywhere with your life. Do not try to cope or accept it as a part of your character. You shouldn't make them your character traits. They are unhealthy and will lead to an unhappy way of life. In summary, drugs will make you docile and will stop you from going forward in your life. Games will make you waste your time, leaving you stuck in your life. That's why so many people who are now older don't enjoy games anymore, by the way. There are countless of videos on YouTube who explain how they fall out of love with video games. They are fun when you are young and have time, but they will quickly turn into a time waste when you realize that you have responsibilities in the real world. Try to level up in real life, with knowledge, books, music, fitness, and more. Pornography is a waste of your drive. Your drive is to achieve something and make you happy. You will find yourself in a much better spot, and your achievements will feel much better when you reduce or even completely stop adult media consumption.